Hey everyone, thank you for coming to the show today. Unfortunately, today we do not have Lex with us. He had a prior commitment, something about work, so it's just going to be me today, and that's okay. And today we have Addict Junky Paranormal. Obviously, if you are living under a rock, then we've been posting so much about Addict Junky being on Parapost. It's been great. So I guess we're going to get started, and here we go. Okay, so I'm having a little bit, let's see here. I'm having a little bit of audio problems here. You know, it's funny, we check this all the time before we get on to the live checking audio. And as soon as you get on live, it starts happening. Like it's just nothing ever surprises me anymore with this show. But I want to thank everybody that's in the room today and stopping by and checking out our show. I really appreciate that. So today, obviously on the show today, we have Addict Junky Paranormal. And if, like I said just before I played the intro, obviously if you are living under a rock, then you don't know about Addict Junky, because I've been promoting this guy everywhere on all social media platforms, even LinkedIn. I'm even putting him on LinkedIn, so which is pretty cool. He's obviously on Parapost, and he's not only a great guy, but he's got some great equipment. So we're going to get into asking him some questions about him being a paranormal investigator, because obviously he's a paranormal investigator first, but how he got into making equipment, and some pretty damn good equipment, if you ask me. So before we get started, obviously, you know, Lex is not with me today. He had to work. But unfortunately, I don't think he's even going to be here next week either, because he's in the middle of moving. So, but we can handle it. And who knows, I might have a co-host next week. Somebody different for the show, so we'll see. But regarding this week, I just want to get into a little bit about that. Obviously, Parapost is really starting to grow. The platform's really starting to grow, and people are starting to sign up to the site, which is great, and we're really happy about it. There's been a lot of activity going on in Parapost, which has been absolutely incredible. People are posting pics, people are posting videos, and or links to videos. Now I want to get this. There is something that I did want to talk about today, because there's been a little bit of confusion when it comes to videos. We have talked about this before, but I just want to remind everybody today, when it comes to videos, you can't actually put videos up on the site. Eventually you will be able to, okay, but not right now. So what you can do is you can put links up on the site, which means that if somebody clicks on that link, they're going to automatically go to that page on whatever that video is about, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or whatever. So I just wanted to mention that, because I've had a couple of people emailing me, asking me what kind of videos, what kind of video format can go up on the site. Question answered. So that's that. So Other than that, there's not a lot to talk about. Obviously, there's a new episode of Hauntophonia coming out tonight at 8 o'clock, 7 p.m. Central. That will be the streaming tunnel episode. And this actual episode is absolutely incredible. During this video, there was something that happened that even you guys are going to be surprised about, because I was stunned. I was shocked, because there's a lot of stories to this place, and I'm not sure if they're necessarily all of them are true, but we did find out one story was true, and it blew me away when I heard this. And you guys are going to be really shocked when you hear it. I was actually talking to Hef yesterday, who was with me on the investigation, and he hasn't seen the video yet. But when I told him that, he was stunned. He was like, wow. So maybe that story is true. But hopefully you guys check that out. And I think that's about it. So what I'm going to do right now, I will mention another thing. During this show, we are going to have we're going to have a couple of giveaways during this show. And when we get to that, we'll explain how that giveaway is going to take place. So definitely a lot of things going on today's show. So so let's get started. Basically, I found this guy on Facebook, and I took a good look at a lot of his paranormal equipment, and some of it was really, really interesting. So I started watching some of his videos, because he seems to be on Facebook quite a bit, posting videos talking about obviously his paranormal equipment. And I really felt this guy was a great guy, and you could just tell by his demeanor on his videos, and he just seemed like a really, really good guy. And I reached out to him and asked him if we could have a meeting and to talk about his equipment. So that happened, and it happened quite quickly. So he was very interested, and obviously he was very interested in what Parapost was. So we decided that we were going to work together. So he was going to post his stuff in our site, and then he was going to help promote Parapost on his. So it was good. It was a good working relationship. And over the next several months, we'll see how we do. And I think we're going to do amazing. I think some of his people that follow him have come over to Parapost and have signed up, which is great. And honestly, he's just a great guy. And his name is Josh. I'm not sure if he likes Josh or Joshua, because I know another Joshua, and he prefers Josh. So I'm not sure. We'll ask him when he gets on. I just want to make sure I'm saying the right name. But anyway, so let's bring him on. Let's get started. We're going to find out about him as a paranormal investigator, and then we're going to get into, he's going to show some of his equipment, which is going to be great. So let's get started. Let's bring him up. Here's Josh from Attic Junky. Oh, wait a minute. I'm having you know what? This I have a soundboard, okay? And so I have to plug my headphones into the soundboard. But there's an extension, because obviously the plug for this is too small for the soundboard. So I had to get an extension. I got this extension. I have to be honest, man, it is shit, because I have to twist my headphones everywhere and stuff like that. But so if I go in and out sometimes, hopefully you'll be able to hear me. I think you can, but I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfect.
Perfect.
So how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Happy Sunday to everybody.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you for being on today's show. We really appreciate
no problem.
that. Yeah. So we got a lot to do today. We have a lot to do today. We're going to talk about you being a paranormal investigator. You're going to show some of your equipment, and we're also going to have a couple of giveaways, which I think is going to be great. So sorry, talking a lot. I don't normally do this much talking. Lex does a lot more talking than me. So, well, maybe that's not true. Maybe I do a lot more talking. But anyways, other than that, so let's get into, I know you as making equipment.
Right.
And which is great. which is great equipment. But you were also a paranormal investigator.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So my first question I want to ask you is, can you tell us about your latest investigation?
So my latest investigation was in Dothan, Alabama. We had a reference from one of our groups in Haunted Alabama. There's multiple groups called Haunted Alabama, but we were referred to a lady that was in crisis. Her husband was experiencing demonic activity, and we decided to take it upon ourselves to drive out there and help them out. So my girlfriend's also a paranormal investigator as well.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yep. She's a special education teacher, and she's part-time with me in this company. So we took it upon ourselves to go out there. And when we got there, we just felt like a really heavy presence. I mean, we could tell that, you know, the family was a little unrested about their situation, and, you know, they were, you know, kind of skeptical about us because we were brand new, you know, and that was we're part of a group here in Alabama called Bi-City Paranormal too.
Okay.
And so I do a lot with them, and we do a lot by ourselves with Addict Junky's name. So we went to this house. So the lady had two kids, you know, teenagers to close adults, and her husband living all under one roof, really small house. And we started off just, you know, by doing some EVPs just to see what we could catch. And sure enough, I mean, we started right off the bat, EVP started coming through, just weird noises. Like, it's one thing I've experienced only in one time is when we were doing the EVP, it was straight static. I don't know if anybody's experienced that before, but I have only one other time when dealing with, you know, the darker side of the paranormal. Every EVP that I did came out staticky, and I used 3 different recorders.
Okay.
And all of them came through, and we got one good one, and it sounded like I'm here, and a dark laugh.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So after the EVP session, we go ahead and we wanted to, you know, because that was our confirmation, you know, we have something here. And after that, we ended up walking around the property and, you know, doing some readings with our millimeters and the K2s. And in one section of his property, there was, you know, a pile of stuff. And it just got off the chart readings. There was no power lines, no nothing running to that part of the property. And I mean, I got milligauss as high as 60 on the millimeter. And the K2 just didn't come off a red at all. So
what was did you guys know the history of this place, or what was happening in this place that she needed to get you guys to come out and investigate?
Yeah, so apparently the husband was suffering severe scratches. He was having night terrors. I believed he was a part of, you know, the demonic depression. He wasn't quite there at the oppression yet, but he was under that demonic oppression.
Okay.
Excuse me, depression.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. He was a Ouija board user.
Oh.
And when you start to conjure things like that, and you start playing with those type of, you know, areas of the paranormal, a lot of nasty things can come through.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? And I am not a fan of the
No.
Ouija board. I'll be honest. I've only used it once in my life, and that's when I was very, very young. And I didn't particularly use it. There was people in the room that were using, but I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And so I was mainly watching. And some of the questions they were asking, it's like, okay, you guys are just going to bring something out that you don't want around here. And so I kind of left the area because I didn't want to be involved in all, because, you know, you can be pulling something out and then it automatically attaches to you.
Right.
You know, and so, but I just don't understand. People think it's a game, but it's really, 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 really not a game.
Man. It really isn't.
It's almost like we were talking about this, I think, last week or the week before, the Estes method, which is a great method. But honestly, I think it's something that you should only do for 4 to 5 minutes, because basically what you're doing is you're channeling.
Yes.
You're channeling, and you can be bringing something out that you don't want to bring out.
Right.
And so I've done the Estes method probably twice since my time in investigations.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's you got to be really, really, really careful with that. But you know, that place sounds like there was a lot going on and not a lot of good things.
No, and you know, we ended up finding out that the man was, you know, they were both in the service members, and they were both in the military, so they did suffer from a little bit of PTSD because they were involved in the early part of the invasion of Iraq and, you know, Afghanistan. So they did have a lot of, you know, stuff. So we did put that into factor. But once we ruled out and we had all the evidence we needed as scientific to prove that there was something going on there, we started to ask more questions. And part of him, you know, also said, you know, he was a salvager. He cleaned out houses for a living. So when you clean out these houses, he would bring home items, and of course, whatever as a value, you know, as a scrapper, you're able to keep, and whatever else you could just, you know, get rid of. So he kept some items that were apparently linked to a concentration camp in Germany in World War II. So
great items to look at, but not great items to take home.
I mean, it's history. It's history not to be forgotten.
Yeah.
But it's one thing, you know, to bring stuff like that if it has a past. I mean, there's some things that you just don't mess with when you know there's history linked to it and you're involved in this industry and this field. You just know. I mean, but bless the guy's heart, man. He didn't know, and he had a medium come out, and the medium had told him that he needed to get rid of these objects outside and bury them, and then have a fire to go ahead and what he had said to release the spirit within the object. Now,
I think also you're supposed to put like a salt around it, aren't you?
Salt barrier, correct.
Yeah.
So, you know, we ended up going around to each room, and we did readings in each room. We had our millimeters, we had our REM pods, I had my ovuluses, we had, you know, laser grids, we had all of our, you know, thermal imaging going on. We had our static cam set up, and I mean, we caught some pretty good evidence. And, you know, we caught, you know, I don't know, the whole thing about orbs, you know, people are skeptical about that, but we got, you know, some pretty good shots. And they say that different color orbs mean different things.
Yeah.
So I'm a believer in them. You know, some people aren't, but when you catch about 40 of them in a picture, you know, I kind of find it hard to rule out that it's all just bugs. And
I just want to make it clear, there's no orbs flying around here. This is actually a LED light where you see all those green dots. Yeah.
You're
Yes.
you're breaking up bad.
Am I?
Yeah.
Huh. Wonder why. Maybe it's at your end.
I can't even hear you now.
Can people hear me in the room?
It almost sounds like you got a voice equalizer on or something.
No, I think it's at your end, buddy.
Is there anything we could do to fix this?
Why don't you? No, no. I'm good at my end. I'm good at my end. We can. Oh, they can hear us both.
I can't even hear you. You want me to log out and log back in?
Yeah, if you can, we can do that.
Wait a minute. Now I can hear you.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah, there's a little buzzing noise, but that was weird, man. You sounded like you had a voice equalizer.
Now
it's normal. See, we go about talking about dark stuff, and then weird stuff happens, man. It always happens to me.
Yeah,
always.
And you know what? I started talking about the green dots in there and stuff like that. There was a while back where I had something follow me home, and I was able to get rid of it. What I ended up doing was I ended up going back to the place where I got it from and left it there. And it's funny you mentioned the orbs, because I'm very, very careful when it comes to my videos, when it comes to orbs, because I really, really inspect the video to make sure it's not a bug compared to something an orb. But let me ask you this: if you are seeing something going across and it's super, super slow and it's flashing, that's not a bug to me.
No, man. I mean, because we all know the flow of dust. We all know what dust looks like. It looks like snow flurries. We all know what bugs look like. And if we can enhance the image, we're able to see, what's causing the, anomaly of an orb, if it's a bug or something like that, that bounces off of their wings or something. We're able to debunk that. But when we get, these different orbs and you zoom in and there's no explanation for it, then, I think they're valid to say we can use them in our scientific research and say that there's something unexplained. We don't know what's going on, but, there's something there.
Yeah, and you're talking about the house that you did. I just found out yesterday that I'm going to be investigating in a house in the next couple of weeks or so.
Very nice.
I'm really excited about that. I love doing house investigations.
I do too.
Those are the best to me. You might not always catch something, but they're I don't know. I just find them a lot more fascinating than going into an abandoned place.
Right.
And especially for something that's been really famous and everybody goes there. And it's just something about going into a residential home that makes my paranormal investigating that much better. So let's move on here. So obviously, I know you're equipment guy, and everybody's going to know you're an equipment guy. But if you're out on an investigation, okay, what would be the piece of equipment that you would reach for in your bag, and why?
So when I go on an investigation, I wear almost like a utility belt. Okay. I carry everything with me. I have a sack for basically all my equipment, but the thing I reach for is my Ovilus.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My Ovilus is one of my favorite things because there's so many, I don't agree with some of the pricing on it. I don't believe that everything that comes out of it is true.
Yeah.
But as a paranormal investigator, you have to put the pieces together. And there are instances where there are relevant things that come through this photonic generator. And, for instance, we were standing, we were doing an investigation, me and my girlfriend, out at an abandoned brick mill for Brickyard Road here in Phoenix City, Alabama. And we went inside the brick mill, and it's old. I mean, they shut it down, probably about 10 years ago, but it started up in the 20s. And we go in there, and we're near the furnaces, or the kilns where they end up firing the bricks. So the Ovilus says boom, and then it says furnace. And as soon, about 2 minutes later, we hear the loudest bang out of nowhere. I mean, it sounded like, because there's a control room in front of the furnaces to where they would automatically, you know, the pulley would pull the bricks out, and the controller would be up there doing, you know, the whole thing of putting the bricks in and pulling them out and making sure that everything's working correctly. So we believe that when the Ovilus had communicated, that the spirit was letting us know what he was going to do, because it happened right in front of the kilns, and right by the sound came right from the upstairs area where the control room was.
Wow. So the Ovilus, I haven't tried it, and you're right. And you said something about pricing, and it's one thing that it boggles my mind. For example, REM pod. Everybody likes REM pods and stuff like that. On one particular site you can go to, it's $189.
Correct.
You go to another site, it's almost $500. And I'm thinking, where are these people coming with these prices? And it's just outrageous. And that to me is just a money grab. It's not necessarily about the product. And I understand people want to sell products, and you sell great products. But when you're getting to a REM pod and it's over $500, when you can buy it, it's not even worth over $500.
There's no reason.
No. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because one thing I'd noticed with your site is, especially with the SB7, I know you're the SB7 and what you sell it for, and people go over to his site and see the SB7. Your price is amazing for the SB7. And if I knew about your site when I first ordered the SB7, I would have gone to your site, because what I paid for my SB7 is a lot higher than what you charge for yours. And I think that's incredible. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I contacted you, because your products are amazing. The prices are awesome compared to a lot of other people. And it's just great. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because some people just get sucked in on getting it and wanting to get it, not understanding that you can go to another site and find it for cheaper. And because this industry is very, honestly, with the amount of stuff that you have to have with you, it can get very, very costly. Like some of this stuff from other sites, not yours, is just outrageous in pricing, you know. But anyways, I digress. And, you know, I understand that particular site or that guy. And I'll just say it's Amazon. I went over to Amazon and I looked at the REM pod, and it was $459.
Right.
And that was American.
That was American?
That was American.
Wow. I've seen it in, you know, Europe, and I can understand maybe why it's so high over there, but it
was American. And that would have costed me, I would have spent close to probably $570 after everything was said. And I was thinking, my God. And I will say this, I actually wrote the guy and I made a comment. I said, dude, you can buy this somewhere else for $189. What are you doing? And I got a message from Amazon saying they weren't going to allow that comment. So,
that's the thing, man. This is what I built my company off of, is for this particular reason. I want people to have the chance to be able to do what we do. But, you know, a lot of people can't afford, you know, these high price pieces of equipment, you know. And when I first started out, I couldn't afford anything. So, you know, basically that leads into, I think, our, you know, next part of our, you know, discussion of, you know, why I do what I do.
Yeah, it's great, man. Honestly, it is. So we talked about your latest investigation. So why don't you tell us about your favorite place and why?
So I have a place that's near and dear to my heart. It is the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital in Tennessee. It was featured on Destination Fear, which is a show that was produced by Zach Bagans and one of his youngest guys that he kind of mentored and ended up, his name's Dakota. But basically him and his sister and friend go to a place, they get locked in.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to check out what that place is about, you can watch, it's in the first season. But that's the portrayal of that, and being there is completely different. The hospital is it was built in like 1940s, 1950s, and it served as the main hospital until like the early 90s, and then they shut it down.
Okay.
There's been a lot of instances, and on my webpage, on my Facebook videos, there's actually one of my best captures is what we believe on the third floor. On the end of a hallway, there's a room that is dedicated to an elderly woman that we believe her name was Miss Nellie. There's not too much on her. She had no family, but basically she passed away in the room. So we were doing a group tour when the A&E Ghost Hunters were there. And we were up on the third floor, and I'm filming down the hallway. And of course you can see my IR light and my shadow up on the top right-hand side, but her doorway is on the left at the end of the hallway.
Okay.
And you see a shadow figure come in and out of that as clear as day. And actually, I posted a friend of mine. His name's Ricky Ellard, or excuse me, his name's Ethan, and he is a huge fan of the South Pittsburgh Hospital too. Okay. And we were just talking, just having a good time with everybody and that volunteers there, and they were talking about the capture that I made, and he's never seen it. And he's been there, probably at least 40 times. But when they saw that, they were all shocked. It never gets old for me to watch that piece of video, man. It's just, you can just hear me, like, it's legit, because I'm like, what the hell is that shit? And we were talking, and like, one of the married couples that I'm good friends with, they were like, Josh's reaction is priceless.
Yeah.
And, it's just, and Ethan was like, and because we all watched it on the split screen like we're doing now, and he's never seen it, but it's just an amazing place, man. The owner, his name is Ronnie. He's an awesome person, man. His girlfriend, BC Graphics, they make our t-shirts.
Oh, cool. Okay.
She's a real fantastic designer. She came up with the whole brand new logo that's on the back of our shirts, that's on our website that you can check out.
And just to let people know, when we start getting into the equipment, I will be sharing on the screen his website. So definitely stick around for that. So, but you know what? It's almost like, and it's funny because I think we, as paranormal investigators, and if you've been going out long enough, you find you definitely have one video or one clip you always watch. I have a few of those, but there's a new one that I posted up on TikTok, and we're in this abandoned church. I've been there like 2 or 3 times. I actually have an episode on Paraflix of this abandoned church. This abandoned church is crazy. And last week, what we think happened in one of, during the investigation, we had a book thrown at us. So I actually put it I actually have that video up on TikTok right now. If anybody wants to go check it out. But there was something that I was always hoping that I was going to catch. And I did. And it's crazy. It's going to be one of my newest or favorite clips. We had the still camera sitting on top of a piano.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always hoping when I was in that room that I would get to hear the piano play.
That's awesome.
And so I had the camera on top of the piano. We were in another room doing a SB7. And all of a sudden I'm watching. And, you know, still cameras cannot necessarily, they sometimes can be a little bit boring because you're going through possibly a couple of hours of a still camera. But I just enjoy every minute because I know I'm going to catch something, and I'm hoping that I'm going to catch something. And all of a sudden, bam, there it was.
Wow.
One keynote from the piano.
That's awesome. Did you see were you actually able to like see the piano key go down?
No, because we were sitting on top of the piano.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But just before that, I captured an EVP.
That is sick.
Of a woman. And then there's another video, and it's hard to hear, and I want to put it up, but I know people are going to have problems hearing it. But because I have all this equipment, I can really turn on my stuff and I can hear it. But we actually caught a woman. It was almost sounded like a woman singing, humming a tune. And it's absolutely incredible. I've had other people listen to it, and they all have different opinions, which is fine. But definitely it's a woman singing. But, you know, it's one of those things. We all have one video that we love.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, most definitely. So you told us your favorite place earlier. So what has been one of your scariest places?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you, the place that I love the most was also my scariest.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that same night, this all happened in the same day. Okay. This is the one time that I've experienced like true poltergeist activity. And so we were on the third floor, and we were in we were on the second floor, and we were listening to some speakers, you know, talk about equipment. And of course I'm roaming around the hallways doing my own thing. And a gentleman, I don't know who he is. He could probably attest to this, but you know, he was a guest that night. So we both hear something through the double doors leading into the, I think it's the OR. So we walk towards that way, and there's another group, you know, on that side of the OR area. And we're sitting there and we're looking around, and all of a sudden we hear the loudest slam right next to us. And we both, I mean, literally like screamed like girls. And then we turned to each other and we said, that was fucking awesome. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But
I understand. We all, there's going to be a video coming out next week. And one of the guys that I was with us on this investigation, he swore quite a bit in the video. So I'm going to have to reach out to my editor. I said, listen, you're going to have to beep out some of that stuff because it's a little extreme at times. But I understand. Go on. Sorry.
No, man. It's just, you know, we both looked at each other and we're like, that's awesome. And we go and look, and we were in this room before. So it used to be a nurse's station to where they could put their personal object. It was like their break room. And all the locker doors were open before we had stepped out of that room. And as soon as we go back in that room, one of the lockers is shut.
Oh, wow. That's great. So it sounds like that place was...
Dude, this place is nuts, man. I love it. It's a second home to me. I could live in that building. I'm telling you. I love it. And
it's just amazing. I just listen to every week. I listen to these stories, and some of the stories just get better and better and better. And this is the reason why I do it. This is the reason why I love it.
Yeah,
because you're going out and capturing that evidence. And to me, that's my drug. You know, that's what I'm addicted to. And it sounds like that's what you're addicted to.
Oh, I mean, obviously. Every chance I get that I'm not, you know, working, you know, behind me is my work area. This is my living room. This is my warehouse. This is my workshop. I got a drill press in my kitchen. I kid you
Oh,
not.
wow. So it's not like you have a lot of parties then. And have a lot
No, no, just me, my girl, and my, like I said, it's just my grandfather, man, and it's us two that tackle basically a lot of orders, man, and it's just nonstop, and there's no room to breathe. And when I started this company, it was literally we started the LLC March 28th. And we did a proof of
this year or last
concept.
year? This year?
No, this
Oh, wow.
this past year.
Okay,
We've only been in
know
business, like almost 6 months maybe.
Okay.
And we've just grown like so, the growth has been exponential. I mean, but it's not because of me. It's because of everybody, the support that people give you, and, the way you treat people. I'm a big believer in customer service. Being in the hospitality industry, Lex could probably attest to you that the customer is always right. I don't care what's going on.
I have a problem with that.
I have a problem with that. Come out.
I used to be in business too. I was a sales manager for different companies when it came to, and people, you can laugh when I say this, but I worked. I used to be a hairstylist, and funny. I understand that. So with the guy that shaves his head and stuff like that, it's fair. So I used to work for a company. We used to deal in hair care products for salon and spas. And my boss always said the customer is not always right, but you have to let them believe that they're right.
Yeah, and I say that, like I said, and you said, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You always want to make, to me, I always want to make people feel that I'm doing the best I can to provide, whether it be a piece of equipment's malfunctioning, because I'm only human. I do make mistakes. Some pieces get sent back. I try to make sure I take care of people. If I miss an order, I make sure I send them a gift card plus an order, so I try to really take care of people. And it's hard because, right now we're dealing with 3 different platforms, but starting August 20th, we're shutting down eBay. So it's going to be a lot easier on us. We're going to be on Etsy and addictjunkyparanormal.com. That's it.
So why don't we take this opportunity, since you're talking about your site right now, why don't I bring it up right now, and so people could take a look at it.
Okay.
Tell me if everybody see that?
I can see it pretty good.
Good. So if I have to come out of there, so obviously you sell quite a bit of equipment. One thing I'm definitely interested in is this, where my cursor is. Obviously we were talking about the SB7. Right now you are sold out. Is there any idea when it's coming in?
It's not that it's not coming in. It's this chip shortage. It's affecting not only, the automobile industry, it's affecting our industry too. So my quantities that I usually get have been pretty much cut to a quarter. So when I order, I can only order a certain amount, and as soon as I put it up, it's gone just like that.
Yeah, you know what? The SB7s are really starting to become a lot more popular, and I use my SB7 on all my investigations now. I actually got away from the necrophonic. I don't really use the necrophonic anymore. So what's going on here? It's happening again, isn't it?
And I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, I know what's going on. It's because I'm on that part of your site.
Oh, with that little doll. That's a funny one. Yeah,
that's a cool one. So so there's his site there. So you want to go over to Addict Junky. After the show, I will put a description. I will put his link for his site. I think it might be already up there now. I think Lex might have already put up there. But so let's just remove this. So what I was thinking we can do right now, I know people have been patiently waiting. for why don't we do our first giveaway? What do you think about that? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'm really having a lot of problems with soundboard today. So so what we're going to do for this contest, do you want to do the equipment or do you want to do the gift card?
So let's go ahead and do the gift card first.
Okay. So why don't you explain to people what it is and what they can do with it?
So basically, you will be giving a code, and it will have a $40 gift card attached to that code. So you're going to have to go shopping as usual. But when you go to your cart, before you hit checkout, underneath checkout, there is a redeem your code or gift card. And I will send the link to Brian, and it will have a code for your gift card. So at checkout, your gift card will automatically be inserted in, and you will receive that credit for the amount that we're going to give away today.
Yeah, that's great. So that's excellent. So what we're going to do, let me just put this link up here right now for his website. There you go. So that's Josh's website to Addict Junky Paranormal. So if you want to go over there after the show, and you can go check out his stuff and what he has to offer. So what we're going to do today is, this is how we're going to play it. So what you're going to need to do is, if you're not with Parapost, you're going to want to go over and sign up with Parapost, and you are going to put the answer into his latest post. So who's ever up there first, and we know who's up there first, and if you give the right answer in that post, then Joshua will contact you through the Parapost website or social media site, and he will let you know that you won your prize. So, and how to get it and how to collect. So obviously with the gift card, you're going to be given a code. So, but with the piece of equipment, that's going to either, I don't know how are you going to do that? Is it going to be something that you're going to send out to them, or?
Oh yeah, I'll take care of everything. I'll get their information, and then I'll go ahead and mail it out to them tomorrow.
Okay. So here's the, I don't want to say a skill testing question, but here's the what we're going to do is, I'm going to tell you, I don't even know how to explain this, I guess. So what I'm going to say is, okay, well, I'm just going to do this. So during this interview, Josh has talked a lot about a lot of different things. So here we go. So Josh talked about his latest investigation. What I'm going to need you to do is tell us where that location was.
All right, that's perfect. And okay. I'll give you a hint. It's not the hospital.
So yeah, where that location was, Josh's latest investigation. And so what you want to do is, you want to go over to Parapost and post that answer, and then Josh will contact you through Parapost. Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we move on to your equipment?
Perfect.
So Josh is going to show 3 or 4 different, or maybe 5 things of what he sells on his website. He's going to explain a little bit about what these products are, and if this is something you are interested in, you can either go through the link that I showed you, or you can go through Parapost and click on his link in there. Now, before we get started, there is something in the description that what you can do is, we do have codes. And it's Parapost 21 and Parapost 22, and it explains what each one does. So if you're going in there and doing a lot of shopping, you want to do one code. I think it's Parapost 22 when there's products over $35.
No, so Parapost 21, you get 20% off $35 or more. That's and then Parapost 22 is $5 off your entire purchase.
Yeah. Okay. That's
now, also, you can use the winner that gets this gift card can also use another code to be able to purchase the equipment.
Okay, that's cool.
If they want to buy more.
Of course.
And also, these codes are unlimited for Parapost members, so you can use them as many times as you guys want.
Perfect, perfect. So why don't we move on to your equipment?
Okay.
Josh is, like I said a few seconds ago, Josh is going to show 3 or 4 or 5 different pieces of what this piece of equipment is and what it does for you when you're out on investigations.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say that I am in partnership with GhostHuntersEquipment.com, which is Ghost Augustine, very famous site. A lot of people know them, and I do carry their line of Parapost equipment. So I want to showcase some of their stuff first, then I'm going to hop into mine. I just got 2 pieces I'm going to show y'all from them. So everybody knows the famous Polter, the Coffin Pod. Basically, so this one is the less, expensive one, because the one that actually is a coffin costs about $400.
Oh wow!
But this one retails for $200, and it is motion activated, and it's a very awesome piece of equipment. I've used it, and the melody does not play for very long. So if something moves in front of it, it goes and stops, and same thing, it'll just play for about 5 to 10 seconds as it picks up motion. So that's one piece. And another piece that I just got that I'm very excited about is the Spirit Vibes. This thing.
Oh, I saw you showing that on Facebook the other day.
Yeah, so this is awesome. So this is basically a geophone, but it is electronically based instead of using a seismometer. So it is very sensitive.
Oh, wow.
And the sensitivity can be adjusted by just that little nozzle that's on the back to straight up going crazy all the way to you have to hit it hard.
Wow. Wow.
So that's a great piece of equipment, Spirit Vibes. It's, one of my favorite pieces besides using the Polter tune.
Yeah, so you would have to be very careful. But then
also,
Can you hear me?
When we go to my equipment, everybody knows that I have that new product out, the Scare Bear. He's registered under my name. We've worked very hard on him, and this is him. So he is a REM pod, trigger object, and musical, he's a music, but the music acts as a REM pod as well. So we got the dual function. So obviously, sorry about that. He lights up on all 4s. He's got 2 lights in his feet, 2 in his arms, and 1 in the head. And then as you switch.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It's hard to hear you.
Okay. We're doing, you know what? You started showing your equipment and things started going weird again. What's going on?
I'm telling you, man, there's stuff in my house.
So what I was going to say about that other piece before the Scare Bear there. So you have to be very, very careful with that, I guess, because there was somebody, I think it was somebody on this show not too long ago that had a REM pod, and I guess a bug went on the REM pod and set it off. So you would have to kind of be very careful with that, right? When it came to
this one. So this bear is
no. I'm talking about the piece before.
God, man, it's so hard to hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. The box before where all the lights were coming on. If I can't.
Oh, so the Spirit Vibes.
Yeah, the Spirit Vibes. You'd have to be very careful with that, right?
Yes, because that's the good thing about it, though, because we can set the sensitivity to where you're not going to trigger it by yourself.
Okay.
But if you want it on a very sensitive setting to where it'll go nuts just by you touching it, just like I showed you how all the lights went off, you can do that. And that's the option that you have with those pieces of equipment from St. Augustine. And, the next piece of equipment that I want to get into, the Bear is my favorite. That's my forerunner. I mean, here was my first one.
Okay.
So we have 3 generations of the Bears. then this one is just a simple little REM pod that has 3 lights in it. And the next one that I have done is, let's talk about the $500 REM pods.
Yeah.
So this is my version of the REM pods that are, you know, the ones that run for about $189.
Okay.
So this one has the same kind of activity and sensitivity as the other ones, and this one also.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. So let me ask you a question on your pieces of equipment. So if somebody wants to personalize it, like putting their logo or putting their brand on, can they do that? Like, for example,
so they
with
can
the
do
bear.
that. There are some pieces that I do that are personalized. Like I do I can do anything basically. I can print your own sticker, put it on. I have a group that wants a box, but they have their team logo on it, and they want the musical REM pod in that, and they don't want anything else. They just want a cool little box.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. Very cool.
So I'm making that for them.
Yeah. Do you have that box close by, the big one, the one that I really like? And I think it's the one that you just spoke to about now, that you can actually put your name on the side. Do you have one close by you right now?
You talking about the one with the skull?
Yeah.
So this one belongs to a very awesome person. So she owns a little group called Majestic Souls, and she's on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I know who she is. Yeah.
Yep, and Carrie. So this is her logo, and on the bottom.
Oh, just to let you know, Carrie has been trying to get hold of you. She told me the other day.
I'm sorry, man. For some reason the sound's still.
Yeah. No, I was saying Carrie mentioned to me the other day that she's been trying to get hold of you. Just to let you know.
That she's trying to get a hold of me?
Yeah, about her box.
Oh yeah, I was gonna message her today and tell her I was gonna go ahead and ship it out tomorrow. Yeah, so if she's listening, I'm gonna contact her after this and let her know we're gonna go ahead and get this shipped out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is basically the artwork that I did for her. I painted it, I wood burned it, and then wood burned it, painted it, and ended up doing the final details with, you know, the REM pod as being the eyes, and then, you know, you got the aerial antenna that you can move around. It's very sensitive, pretty cool piece of equipment. There's pictures on here, there's videos of it working on the feed. So I mean, there's limitless items that I can do for people.
That's the one I'm going for. Because I want to put
I got you, man.
I want to put Huntophobia on it, and I want to put Parapost on the sides.
I got you. I'll take care of
you. Yeah, I know you will. So I'm really looking forward to having that piece of equipment. So, so again, guys, you want to go over and check out his site. I did put the link in here, but I will put the link in the description after the show. And so just go check it out. And again, as we said earlier, you want to go over to Parapost and make an order for a scare bear or the other items that he showed here today. It's just really good. And you want to use those promo codes 21 and 22.
This is the one you were interested in.
Yes, very.
The SLS cam. Yeah. This is the Gen 2. Very easy setup, man. It's an awesome piece. You know, so go check it out. There's, you know, actual videos of it being used on the site. So, you know, it's very collapsible. Takes like 3 seconds to put together, 3 seconds to take apart, and it actually folds all the way down for easy storage. So it's a great piece. I love it.
Wow. So what, so somebody just said mine is in the basket, the bear. So what does that mean, Amora? I'm not sure what that means.
I can't.
Maybe you can't hear me? You can't hear me? What's going on here?
I have no idea, man.
Yeah. So why don't we I'm going to do the last contest or the last prize, okay?
Okay.
The last prize is the K2 meter. You're going to be giving away the K2 meter. So what we'll do right now is you need to go over to Parapost. If you haven't signed up yet, you want to sign up today. And what you're going to do is you're going to give the answer on his latest post. And then once that's done, Josh will contact you and get the prize to you.
So that'll be what, the second person that posts?
Well, you'll know the difference because somebody's giving one answer for something, and then there's another answer for something else. So you'll know right. Yeah. So during this interview, Josh mentioned his favorite piece of equipment. What we want you to go over and do is go over to his Parapost and post that answer. So over the next couple of days, Josh will be checking out people's answers, and whoever posted first will win the prize. So again, what was his favorite piece of equipment when he's on investigations? Very simple. If you don't know it, just go back in the stream and watch again, and you will get the answer. That's it. It's that simple. So can you hear me or no? You can't.
Yeah, now it's back.
Yeah, it's just weird. Something going on over there. So what you need to do is you need to sit down on the couch and have a real long discussion with what's ever there and tell them to leave.
It happens every time, man. Never fails.
So again, the first one was where was his latest investigation, and now the second one, what is his favorite piece of equipment? And that's it. You just answer those questions, but you have to go over to Parapost to answer them. And on his latest post. So hopefully I'm looking forward to see who wins that product. And maybe what we'll do is we'll have Josh on briefly, maybe next week or something like that, just to
it'd be awesome.
So just to talk a little bit more. I will let you know Josh is going to be on a new show that's me and Mike from Charles City Paranormal are starting on Tuesday. It's called Parapost Live, and he will be on that show in August, hopefully. So so we're looking forward to that. But again, Josh, I want to thank you for coming on today's show. It's been,
hey man, no problem.
It's been a real pleasure to have you on. I'm looking forward to see how far your business grows, and I know you're going to be adding a lot more products to your
and I'm so thankful, man, because it's only because of people that I am where I'm at. It's not about the money. It's about making sure that people are taken care of and they can do what we can do for the affordable rate and not have to pay crazy amounts of money for pieces of equipment.
Yeah, I know Samora said that she's going to buy it soon. But Amora, if you go over and answer those questions, you're going to get a gift card, and you're going to get, and then on top of that, if you get something else, you're going to get a discount also. So just go over and answer those questions. They're pretty simple, pretty easy. We just want people to go over to Parapost and look at his site and stuff.
Yeah, sign up.
We're promoting it like no tomorrow. So if you live under a rock and you haven't seen it yet, there's something definitely wrong with you. So I'm just kidding. But anyways, again, thank you so much for coming on today's show.
No problem, man.
And we will definitely talk soon over the next few days. And I will keep an eye out to see who answers the question also.
Awesome.
Or those two questions. But again, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to meet Lex, but you will definitely meet Lex down the road.
Perfect.
Okay, buddy. So
right,
have a great rest of the day. Thank you. Bye. Well, there you go, guys. So so just go over to Parapost and answer those two questions, and you can win a prize. It's that simple. It's pretty easy. If you are unclear what the answer is, then just go back on the show, and obviously it's at the beginning. It's in near the middle, but pretty simple. So I want to thank everybody that's come into the show today. There's not much else that I need to say, but again, Parapost, Addict Junky, all on the site now, and keep them for people that are in the room that are on the site or watching this replay that are on the site. Keep doing what you're doing. We're loving it. It's great. But other than that, I want to say thank you for everybody who came into the show today, and we'll definitely see you next week. I'm not sure if Lex will be on the show next week, and if he's not, I might bring in somebody else to guest host. So again, thank you for everybody that came in the show today and saying some nice comments. I saw them. But other than that, have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you soon. Okay, guys?